welcome to this video about taking pictures with a manual focus lens and your Canon camera. A lot of times I'm meeting photographers and they tell me it's so hard to shoot with manual focus lenses, but it isn't. You can actually use the integrated focus system of your camera, and it's kind of an autofocus, but it's a manual motor. So you're not replacing the autofocus system with your camera, you are just replacing the engine of the lens with your hand. Before we start, we should be talking about the reason why we are using manual focus lenses. The first reason is that we can use really old and superb lenses with a special and unique look. But actually the main reason for us to use them is that we can use superb optical quality lenses. The overall problem in lens development is kind of to find the right balance in between optical quality and functionality. The better a lens gets in optical quality, the heavier it gets. And the autofocus system is kind of a limiting factor in lens development. The motor has to move the glass gets bigger, the motor has to get bigger, and kind of a lot of problems evolving out of that situation. When you leave away the autofocus motor, you can make different lenses. You can use heavier glass, you can use more glass, you can use kind of better constructions. And there's the price. When you give $1,000 to a lens manufacturer, that company is going to split that money into two segments, one for autofocus and one for lens quality, like optical quality. So you don't get a lens which is $1,000 optical quality, you get $500 optical quality and $500 autofocus. If you don't have the autofocus, that company can not just make any more money, but it can use better materials, it can use more materials, it can use more glass and just make all and put all that money into the optical quality. But let's get back to our focus topic. Modern cameras are using a phase focus detection. It's not the face, it's phase. Let's keep it very simple. We can look at an old camera with a rangefinder. And that rangefinder is going to tell you whether your subject is in focus or not. And additionally, it can tell you whether the focus is in front or behind the subject. If the two sides matches, the subject is in focus. Simple as that. This is kind of how modern cameras and modern focus sensors work. They even do have cross-type sensoric, and they have two dimensions to find the right focus. Not only one as a rangefinder. As I told you in the beginning of the video, you can use those sensors to find the right focus with a manual lens. And we even do shoot a lot of portraits with manual lenses. It's working. With your Canon camera, it's very easy to use manual focus lenses. Just activate the camera by pressing the shutter halfway through and then start moving the focus of the lens. The moment the sensor detects the focus, the whole display flashes red. Then just press the shutter. You can only use one focus point at a time, but you can move that focus point around like using an autofocus lens. There's also a second way of working with manual focus lenses. You can just switch on the live view of your camera and then magnify the screen. Get as close in as possible and then start to find the focus. This type of focusing is very useless when taking pictures of moving objects. But if you're taking pictures, for instance, in architecture, landscape, still photography, then it's the best way to take sharp and crisp images. This is all a matter of practice. Remember when you first started taking pictures, then the exposure time, the right exposure time, was really hard to find. Now it's very easy. The same thing is going to happen with manual focus lenses. When you start using them, you find it kind of a bit awkward in the beginning, but then you get used to it very quickly, and very soon you will be able to shoot in different and difficult situations with no problems at all. And by the way, when working with specially designed manual focus lenses, the transmission is different than with autofocus lenses. So you can find it at home a bit hard to use manual focus with autofocus lens, but when you're using it with specially designed manual focus lenses, the transmission is so much softer and really perfect to get the right spot with your focus. One trick at the end. Always keep in mind the depth of field of your current settings, because a lot of times you don't have to refocus, you can just keep on shooting. There are a lot of calculator apps for the depth of field for your smartphone. You can just find out how deep the depth of field is and then concentrate on the shot, on the perfect moment. When shooting portraits and you have, for instance, 30 to 40 centimeters depth of field, it's very easy to just keep on taking pictures with no hustle at all. As you can see, there are a lot of reasons to use manual focus lenses, even in 2017. And it's not even hard to focus them. I hope I could help you a bit with this video. Thanks for watching and have fun with photography.